Hello, my naughty otters. Now let's just say hypothalamously for the sake of this video that you have asked someone out. Shocking. I know, right? Now you might think that the most nerve-wracking part of the whole process is over with. No. I regret to inform you that you have another nerve-wracking step before you get on this date with this person that you are interested in romantically. What I am talking about is figuring out what you're gonna do on this date. Like do you just go out to dinner? Like everyone else? Like any other date? That might be fine for lots of people. Or do you do something a little more crazy and out there? That might be great for a lot of other people. So in this video, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through each of the 16 Myers-Briggs personalities, look at them one by one and say, okay, depending on who you have asked out, these are the kind of dates that might impress them the most. Do not make a mistake. Make sure you intensify your anxiety right now so that I may then alleviate it with knowledge. For this type, it's not a surprise that the ideal date should be a little more exciting than just dinner and a movie. ESTPs like to live in the moment and they love the opportunity to be in an energetic, social atmosphere, which is difficult to say. Something like an auto show where they could look at and get behind the wheel of all the new cars. Or a trip to an amusement park. Don't be afraid to add a bit of competition to the date as well, like going climbing at a rock wall or go-kart racing. Just keep it fun, exciting, and a little bit unexpected. Like throw a banana peel out of your go-kart as you're driving down the road and then the ESTP is gonna hit it and then spin out and it's very unexpected. Speaking of fun, that is the key theme for ESFPs. More often than not, an ESFP will want to have a lively and energetic one-on-one adventure. They love to explore new places and have unique experiences. So how about taking them to a cooking class featuring an exotic cuisine? Perhaps Canadian. Learn to make poutine. Or perhaps taking a mini day trip to a different town with lots of attractions that you can explore together. Here's the real important part though. Don't try to overplan the date. Like sure, make a reservation for your Canadian cooking class or whatever, but don't micromanage and plan out every little detail. Leave some breathing room for in-the-moment decisions. ESFPs will appreciate your spontaneity. And if everything is too planned out, they're gonna freak out. They're gonna have a meltdown. ISTJs, on the other hand, relish having a structured evening that is planned out in advance. That doesn't mean the date needs to be boring, and it doesn't mean that you can't keep things a surprise. It just means that you can't meet up with them and ask, so, where should we go for dinner? Unless, of course, you want to see them have a meltdown. Then that's exactly what you should do. Plan the date in segments. Keep each component, each segment as straightforward as possible with few moving parts, if you will, that could create unexpected chaos. Don't get complicated. So for example, segment 1, at a specified time, you meet the ISTJ at the Natural History Museum and spend an hour looking at rocks or whatever. Segment Dose, walk to a Korean barbecue and have a delicious dinner while discussing fossils or whatever. Segment C, take a leisurely walk around the neighborhood before parting ways. The ISTJ will appreciate that you had everything under controls at all times. Of all the types, the ISFJ is probably the one to most enjoy a personal date that focuses on quality time. They want to spend time getting to know you and what matters to you. So instead of going to a restaurant that, you know, while it's nice, has no real meaning or significance to you, take them somewhere where you have a personal connection. So whether it's a local diner that you went to every week as a kid or the spot you always go for ice cream on Saturday nights when you're trying to like forget your problems, choose somewhere that has personal value to you. Most ISFJs will be very happy to listen to you talk about what these places mean to you, and it will get them excited talking about similar places that are meaningful to them. Doing this will take your date from forgettable to unique and memorable. ESTJs love a night out where they can show off their competitive side. In fact, as a type quite concerned with competence, they might like it if you could give them a real run for their money in an activity they enjoy. It doesn't mean your date needs to be an outright competition, like taking them to the local boxing ring and knocking them out, but you know, something where you can try to win their heart while also winning something that isn't boxing. Whether it's a lively game of trivia at the local bar or a round of mini golf, they'll be thrilled for any opportunity to prove their skills and give you unsolicited advice for improving yours. And while this type can be surreal serious on the outside, don't be surprised if during one of these more competitive dates, they open up and show their goofy, fun-loving side to you. Everyone is evaluating the other person on an early date, right? But no one will evaluate you faster and with more precision than an ENTJ. Not to put pressure on you, but you don't have a lot of leeway to get things wrong here. Don't freak out, don't panic, it's okay. But here's the key, all right? A lot of times ENTJs will tell you that they prefer for them to do the planning for a date themselves only because they're used to other people being crappy planners in comparison to themselves. So if you really want to impress an ENTJ, take the planning off their hands. They probably spend all day managing people at work. They really don't want to do it in their dating life. Tell them, I got this. And then plan something that clearly took you at least a little thought. So maybe go for dinner at a well-reviewed restaurant in your city, or take them to an escape room where you can show off your quick thinking or your slow thinking. ENTJs will appreciate that you took the reins and thought up something unique for them. ESFJs are big extroverts. No big news here. But I think it would be a mistake to interpret that to mean they'd rather go on a group date. Like, oh, ESFJ date? Get a bunch of people together and hang out with like 50 people. Like, oh, ESFJ, they'll love it if you get together with all your friends and you just like throw a party together. That's a date, right? No. Get that idea out of here. They really want to talk to you one-on-one. But they can get a little anxious if the date is too one-on-one. Not because they don't like you, but because they can get a little bit self-conscious if the focus, if the spotlight is too much on them. They get a little worried that you're judging them, which if we're honest, you are, but so do something upbeat where you two can talk and connect, and also where the ESFJ can take a little bit of the spotlight off themselves, like a wine tasting or a chocolate tasting. Go bowling or go to a stand-up comedy show. The ESFJ will love the opportunity to be themselves in an atmosphere where it's not all about them. When planning a date for an ENFJ, you need to be a detective. Get out your magnifying glass and your weird little hat. You know I'm talking about Sherlock Holmes. You need to figure out what kind of date they would like without ever asking them directly. This is because ENFJs can get flustered if the sole responsibility for making a decision is placed on them. So if you ask an ENFJ, would you prefer to go ice skating or go to a museum for our date? They're just gonna pick whichever one they feel like you would prefer. So in advance, put out some feelers in your conversations with the ENFJ. Yes, I mean like word feelers, not like actually don't go like this. That's a little weird. Casually mention ice skating as an example, or whatever your date idea is, in a conversation and see what the ENFJ's reaction is. Refer to the previous section about ESFJs for some more specific date ideas, because these types are very similar, and I think a lot of the stuff I said for them will go for the ENFJ as well. With ISTPs, you want a date that starts off active and energetic. When I do my arms this way, it means active and energetic. But then it tempers down and gets more relaxed and chill by the end. This is because ISTPs love thrill and excitement, but they also love solitude. And I don't mean the city in the hit game Skyrim, but they probably love that too. So they can find themselves burning out by the end of a date if it's just like too much. So a great idea for something exciting that allows you to pace yourself or leave whenever would be something like an arcade. You can play as many games as you like, and the excitement is more about you and whomever you're playing with. It's open-ended, it's free form. You can play as many games as you like. You can go here, you can go there. You can play solo games, you can play games together. You can watch the ISTP show off their gaming prowess. That's right, ISTPs. I know how good you are at the original Donkey Kong. Then from there, you can head out and do something more relaxed, like get an ice cream cone with extra sprinkles and pecan pie chunks and maybe some crushed up Butterfingers. And then dip it in chocolate and then put it between two cookies. And then get an insulin shot. INTPs generally don't want a date that's too crazy or energetic. They prefer a date that's more on the cerebral side. Don't put them in a situation where they're so dead inside, they're just nodding and saying, haha, that's so crazy to everything you say. By the way, if any introvert ever says, haha, that's so crazy to something you say, it means they're checked out. Just stop talking. Instead, give the INTP a chance to show off all their nerdy knowledge. Maybe go to an interesting movie, then discuss over coffee. Browse through a bookstore and see if you discover anything interesting. Or if the INTP has a specific interest like astronomy, plan the date so that it ends with some stargazing. This type is big into unique, novel, fun experiences, especially if it can help create a strong personal connection between the two of you. So going out to a cafe or whatever can be fine, but to get an ISFP to really think you're the bee's knees, you gotta think outside the box. Like going out to a cat cafe where you can pet the kitty cats while drinking cappuccinos. Maybe rent a Vespa and take a scenic ride around your city. Or visit a sound bath where you and your ISFP date can meditate while a sound healer plays gongs and rain sticks. These are great options because they give the ISFP a unique experience that they have shared with you that you both can connect over and remember, hopefully forever. And I guess remember forever together, because you could still remember it and not be together. INFPs also really like one-on-one time. As such, creative dates that allow you to learn more about each other can be a great idea. A good way to do this is to pick a place that doesn't have a ton of distractions. So avoid the cat cafe and just go to a regular cafe and just have a nice chat over a pot of tea. It's a casual outing that isn't focused on a meal or other activity and is instead focused on getting to know each other. This date in particular is the kind of date that would like freak out some other types, but for the INFP, it's right up their alley. A great way to end a date with an INFP is to go to a bookstore or a record store and both of you pick out a book or album you really enjoy and then trade with each other. And this will give you something to connect over between dates as you get to know the INFP and they get to know you through your favorite creative works. ENTPs love ideas and they love talking about those ideas. So getting them into an environment that really stretches their intuitive muscles and allows them to brainstorm with you is quite exciting to them. Date ideas that allow for such conversations usually involve big topics like history, space, or the future. So a museum of technology, an air and space museum, or an evening playing with a new gadget you bought, like a drone, could really let the ENTP's creative side shine. Also, be sure to let them go on their little tangents and rambles when they occur, because those are what really inspire them. The goal for an ENFP date is novelty and or quirkiness. They don't want to go to the fanciest restaurant in town just because it's good, or do the same old dates that they have done or seen on TV 100 times before. They want to do something inspiring, man. So you could take them to the theater to see a play or musical. You could take a class and learn a new skill together, like drawing or origami. You could even do something spontaneous, like making up a scavenger hunt as you go around your town. You don't always have to raise the bar and do something crazy different for ENFPs, but you do need to do something that can appeal to their imaginations. INTJs, they're one of the hardest types to get right when it comes to dates. And this is because many of them are content just like staying home. So if you really want to impress an INTJ with a date, don't pick something that will take an excessive amount of time or mental energy. A date that's gonna take up the whole day and it's all planned out with a big itinerary is daunting and tiring to INTJs. They're gonna have an anxiety attack just thinking about where they're gonna park, or like what's gonna be on the menu at the lunch place and then the dinner place. There's just so many options. So instead, pick something simple, organized, and efficient, like we're just gonna go to an escape room. That's all you have to think about. We're just going to a brewery. We're just going axe throwing. Which makes me think a lot of times, despite the sensory world being an INTJ's weakness, hence why you want to keep a date simple, they do enjoy stuff where they can be a bit more physical, especially when they can use some force, like axe throwing or bowling. Like they could just take out their anger on physical reality. And then after they bowl a strike, they get to watch the little TV screen that shows all the bowling pins getting massacred by the bowling ball. You know what I'm talking about, right? INFJs like dates where they can not only get to know you, but get to know the whys and hows of who you are and what you like. It follows then that good date ideas for INFJs are ones that allow you to have various launching points for discussions that can lead to a deeper understanding of each other. A good start would be to find any shared interest you might might have, and then see if there is an event related to that you could attend together. So maybe you both like poetry and you attend a poetry open mic night where you can listen to a bunch of people read their work, and if you're adventurous, share what you wrote too. Another good idea is a convention for something like antiques or travel. Even if neither of you are like big aficionados or even have that much interest in it, what's important is that you can walk around together and see what random, unexpected stuff intrigues the other person the most. It's sort of like a very controlled way of being spontaneous. The main point for INFJ dates is to allow a little bit of a window into your soul and let them see a little bit of what makes you tick. Is it pecan pie chunks on your ice cream cone? That says a lot. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay cool and attractive.
They say a strange